This is the Pure Fury Creations Entertainment Network.
And we welcome you to the Fatal 4-Way live on ON TV, along with Eric Scharrer and Hollywood Q. I'm Jason Clouse. We certainly appreciate you tuning in here, and conspicuous by his absence is the Stan Lee of the PFC network, one Brian Balfe, but we know he is going to be tuning in and watching us. He may be calling in later on in the program, and things may look a little offset here this week, and there's a good reason for it, and that is because the fine folks here at Orion Neighborhood Television are about ready to launch their annual 5 or 5 food drive. It kicks off this Monday, February the 2nd. They will be going live every day this next week from noon until 2 o'clock. And if you go to ONTV.org right now, there is a GoFundMe link if you want to make a monetary donation to this incredible fundraiser. They're well ahead of the game plan, as it were, Q. But we will be talking more about that as we progress here on the program here tonight. We do want to start. This is officially our Royal Rumble preview episode, and we will be breaking all things down that is Royal Rumble related in just a moment, but we do have some other headlines that we need to at least make mention of. One is the shocking appearance of Tommaso Ciampa in All Elite Wrestling this past week on Dynamite. Now, there was a lot of rumors that he would be going to AEW, but we didn't anticipate that it would happen so fast, especially when you talk about the non-compete clause in these contracts. But as it turns out, old Tommaso was All Elite, Q. How do you think he's going to fare with AEW?
I think he'll do fairly well. AEW has a lot of spots because they have a lot of titles.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's going to be plenty of new faces he can work with, some faces that he's seen back in the old Ring of Honor when he was there. I think this is actually a good fit for him because in WWE, he pretty much, he got to his spot, his ceiling.
Reached the ceiling, right?
He reached the ceiling in WWE, so he's in the right spot being in AEW.
Now, do you feel like he reached because it's not his in-ring work that gets called into question. The guy can go from bell to bell. It's his personality, right? Is that the thing that's kind of held him back from being a bigger star? Like, we know he had a run with the NXT Championship and was one of their biggest stars over there. But his transition to the main roster with Raw and SmackDown, even as a tag team with Johnny Gargano, just didn't really materialize the way that we thought. What was the thing that was holding him back?
I think that tag team.
You think
really,
so?
if you ask me, he's a grungy guy.
Yeah.
Like he's not going to be that flashy personality type guy like a Montez Ford or anything like that. But Ciampa is that grungy. Let me go out there and let's wrestle. Let's have a great match, sort of like a Dragunov type guy that's not gonna like give you that big personality boost, which is not a good thing really for the main roster. Let me tell you, Tommaso Ciampa, black and gold NXT was peak. That was the peak Tommaso Ciampa, and that was after he broke away with DIY.
Eric, I know you're relatively new in the current product, the way things are. Have you seen much of Ciampa's work with NXT?
Not with NXT, but I'm happy with this move. I think the problem is there's just a glut of talent. There's just so much screen time and so many faces you can put on there. Like, we haven't even seen Montez Ford in how long?
Months.
And so I'm glad he'll have more chance to shine here in AEW.
His ring work style is very complementary to a lot of their talent that they have over there. And I feel like as long as they keep pushing the gas with him, he could do good things over there. And he does provide a lot of name value. You know, you can say what you want, but when you come from WWE, you have name recognition, you have name value. What I worry about, and we'll kind of transition this into another point of conversation here, is I worry this is going to become a similar issue like with Andrade. Now, we know Andrade has been cleared to compete and to perform on AEW television now, which, great and all. Everybody wanted to jump on the thing of, well, he's the first wrestler to go from WWE to AEW back to WWE. He has become the Paul Orndorff of these two promotions, bouncing back and forth. But at the same time, I worry with Ciampa. Everybody's all excited that he's there now. It's new blood. It's a new name. I worry that while there's all this pomp and circumstances now, in 3 months' time, nobody's going to care. We're going to be seeing him on their YouTube show. Collision is about ready to be yanked off the air altogether. So their television exposure is being reduced, but they keep bringing in more people. I'm really hoping, that's why I'm saying, because Tony Khan has had a history of, we'll bring you in here, we'll give you this great elaborate, arrival and debut, and everybody's all excited, then they don't do anything with them. You look at Ricochet. Ricochet is a good example, and Ricochet, to his credit, tries to stay relevant with his social media presence, and that's great. Tommaso Ciampa is not a social media type of guy, you know what I mean? He's just not. Right. That's just not who he is. So hopefully he does see some title, gold, some meaningful storylines, something that he can sink his teeth in, because he is a very talented worker in any realm in professional wrestling. Just don't go the same route as Andrade. Now the Andrade is back and all this stuff. Do you see him being able to become a main player in AEW?
I'm a big Andrade fan.
Are you really?
I know you're not, but he put on the best spots of the first half of the year, in my opinion. I love seeing his work, but you are shining the light. You showed me that he's not the most charismatic. He's not the best presence in the ring or outside of the ring. Mm-hmm. Hopefully AEW. I'm always glass half full. I hope AEW can do something good with him.
See, and that's why you're on the show, Eric, because you provide a different perspective from a fan standpoint, because you are looking at it pretty much with fresh eyes.
Yeah.
Q and I, we've been watching wrestling for the majority of our lives, and like, I got into the business, so now even, my view is even more skewed, because it's like, why are you booking it like that instead of why did he make that move right there? You know what I'm saying? But now, nowadays I try to separate that as much as I possibly can. But look, AEW has the right tools to really make a splash and really regain some momentum in terms of how they're positioned, especially here in America, in the industry of professional wrestling. So hopefully with Tommaso and with Andrade, they can find this lightning in a bottle and actually make him the star that these guys want to be. So they reach their ceiling with WWE. And when you talk about WWE, you got to talk about the Royal Rumble. It goes down
Yeah.
tomorrow afternoon. Special live start time of 2 p.m. on Saturday, and it will be on ESPN's Plus, Premium Plus. Or if you're watching it internationally through VPN, it will be available on Netflix. I'm going to tell you something. I had a conversation earlier today about this whole VPN thing because I think that's a route we're going to go. But be that as it may, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia is going to host this thing. Now, spoiler, they already did SmackDown for tonight. And there are live results right now online. We're not going to play the role of spoiler here on this particular show. It will air on the USA Network at its normal time slot of 8 p.m. So anything that you want to see on SmackDown, it has already happened. We are aware of what happened. I don't know, Q. I guess overall it doesn't really do anything to shuffle the deck as we go into the Royal Rumble. But what makes this show so special is that this is the start to the road to WrestleMania. Whoever wins the Rumble matches will get a title shot at WrestleMania, either on Saturday or Sunday, all depending on how the cards line up. Let's talk about the women's Royal Rumble match. 17 women have been confirmed at this point that they will be competing for the Women's Royal Rumble and a shot at either the WWE Women's title or the Women's World title, I should say. You're talking about a who's who here in terms of female talent in WWE, Q. Let's run down the list real quick. These are the names who have confirmed they will be a part of this. Maxine Dupree and Julia, Lash Legend, Nia Jax, Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, who won it last year, Chelsea Green, Becky Lynch, Jordan Grace, Asuka, Raquel Rodriguez, Roxanne Perez, Liv Morgan, Lyra Valkyria, Bayley, Io Sky, and Rhea Ripley. Of these names, is there a favorite in your mind, Q?
Well, there's two that stick out.
Okay.
And one of them might not be everyone's favorite. But first, I want to say Liv Morgan might be one of the favorites to actually win this whole thing. She was the runner-up, I think, last year. I want to say she's been in every Royal Rumble since its conception. She has been probably the highlight of each Rumble. I mean, she got to have the longest lasting time all combined for each Rumble, for all the Rumbles. This might be the year she pull it off. She just got back from the injury, so
she's on fire right now.
She's on fire, and she took a back seat. Like she was competing for the tag team goal. Now is this her time? Because I mean, Stephanie Vaquera against Liv Morgan, they already teased it.
Right.
But also, the tease that's been going around, and they already pretty much have physicality, is Raquel Rodriguez.
Big Mama Cool.
Big Mama Cool,
yeah.
Which could cause the rift in the Judgment Day that we've been seeing for the past 5 years.
You mentioned Raquel Rodriguez, and I did have a conversation with Brian last night, and I know you know where I'm going with this. He likened this whole thing with Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, and you can throw Roxanne in there too as a supporting, part of this storyline. But he likened this to, he kind of sees this playing out as the finish of the '96 Royal Rumble with Shawn Michaels and Diesel, where you have the established talent and the rising heavy, and they kind of swap spots there for a hot minute. But it would be in '96, it would be Shawn Michaels who would eliminate Diesel, his former bodyguard, his best friend, his former tag team partner. We see a lot of the similarities between Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, especially when they started calling her Big Mama Cool,
Yeah.
because she really has adopted that moniker. I don't think he's too far off base here, and to pull the major upset, having Raquel Rodriguez win this thing and go on to face Stephanie McCure or whoever has the women's title over on SmackDown, because they have their choice at this point.
Yeah.
I could see that playing out because they got to do something to shake up the deck a little bit.
Oh,
Eric, what's your take? Who do you like in this match?
You saying that the light bulb went off. Brian has a point. That's a perfect.
Well, don't give him too much credit.
That's a perfect ending with. She's calling herself Big Sexy now. Big Sexy versus Liv Morgan, in the end.
Man, they just keep
sexy, yeah.
they just keep planting more and more seeds. And here's the thing about this: they say that history always repeats itself. But were you there the first time that it happened? For us,
Yeah.
we were. We saw the Shawn Michaels and Diesel dynamic play out. How it started, how it evolved, how it ended, wound up being bitter rivals. We can also use a similar path with Triple H and Batista. And
Yep.
I mean, they could twist that up a little bit, and Batista winning the Royal Rumble. Everybody thought he was going to pick the SmackDown champion, but he overheard H and Ric Flair talking crap. Yep, the whole thumbs down thing, and it winds up leading to Batista becoming the World Heavyweight Champion at WrestleMania 21. So it's going to be interesting here. I don't know. Of these names listed, again, there's only 17 of them. This opens the door for NXT talent.
Yeah.
This opens the door for TNA talent. This opens the door for maybe some legends. Trish Stratus was recently on Stephanie McMahon's podcast, so we know that she's in the fold. Nikki Bella, we haven't seen her name on here.
Don't need to.
Lita. Listen, Nikki Bella is coming in and winning the whole thing.
Oh my goodness.
I said that to
All
Brian,
right.
and that's exactly what he said, just a little bit more colorful.
Let's show us over.
No, listen, I'm going Rhea Ripley with this. Rhea right now is the hottest star for the women's side on Monday Night Raw. She gets among the loudest pops every week. You can make the argument for Liv Morgan, especially if Stephanie McCare is able to retain and hold on to the women's world title all the way up to WrestleMania, but I don't know if they're going to go that route. They could, because she's viable with that title, and you would want a heel to go against her. Liv Morgan is obviously the number one heel for the girls right now. But I mean, if we're going momentum, I really feel like Rhea Ripley, as popular as she is, it's going to be her. But if I'm going to go the wild card route, it's going to be Bianca Belair.
That's my other that's my wild card too.
Yep.
Yep.
It's been a long time since we've seen Bianca, and this would be the perfect landscape for her to make a stunning return, win the Royal Rumble, and then she can write her own ticket, man, because she doesn't have an established storyline, rival. If you wanted to shake it up a little bit and turn her heel upon her return, you could do that too. If you go the Belair route, man, you have a lot of wiggle room here to call it on the fly. Would you agree?
I definitely agree. And we also have history with her and Jade Cargill. You know, Jade Cargill being the champ.
I forget about that.
Yeah, that right there is the reason why Bianca was my number one to win it. My only thing was if she was cleared or not, and we'll find out tomorrow. A hand injury is sometimes it just don't heal right, and I get it.
Right.
So if she is ready and if she is in this Rumble, if I hear that hair whip That's my winner right there.
I mean, it wasn't just a hand injury because, people who aren't in the loop, they'll hear that and be like, oh, well,
Right, yeah.
You
It sounds small.
you put some duct tape on it and it'll just magically fuse itself back together. No, she had multiple breaks in one finger.
Yeah.
And our fingers are only supposed to go a certain kind of way. You know what I
Yep.
mean? So when you get multiple breaks in one finger, that's where it gets to be a little hairy.
Especially if it don't heal correctly.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm still dealing with issues because of the healing process. It just didn't happen right.
Right. Final pick.
I'll go Raquel Rodriguez.
Okay.
I like her.
Big sexy, yeah.
All right. And Bianca?
I'm going Bianca.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Tiffy Time come back.
She'll be back.
Oh, she'll be there.
Definitely be in there.
And she'll probably get a respectable pop, too.
She'll get a good
But,
showing.
who knows, man? Because, again,
It's different over
they're in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia.
It's different over there.
It's a whole different world over there.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. Oh my God, I'm trying to give this whole thing its props. And what I will say is the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the staff of WWE did an amazing job of taking a flat, empty piece of land and building an entire arena on it in 3 weeks.
In no time.
Right.
It is insane what they did. Now, longtime fans will remember they did that at Caesar's Palace for WrestleMania 9. People thought that arena that they had that show in was a long-standing arena. That's where they had boxing, events and things like that. No, it was a parking lot that they built from the ground up to turn into the Roman Empire.
Yep.
And so this is what they've done over in Riyadh. And, from the pictures that I've seen, I can give it its props for putting, I just hope that the damn thing don't collapse during the event. So there's my silver lining for the. But we'll talk more about that later on the program. Let's focus on another match that has a lot of people speculating, and then it's this contest between the phenomenal AJ Styles and Gunther. Now the stipulation here, if AJ Styles loses this match against Gunther at the Royal Rumble, he has to retire from WWE. That last part right there, Hollywood, is what people have been fueling, the fans fueling the fire. A lot of speculation that while they did specifically mention his WWE career, there is speculation that he will either sign a one-year deal with AEW or he will return to TNA, hopefully for one more run with their World Championship. If you're AJ Styles, is that a possibility? Is this going to be his last match in WWE?
For now, I think it is. The way they set this up and listening to all of the wording, and he did I want to say Monday Night Raw last week, where he said there's locker rooms that wants to face him.
Yeah.
Locker rooms. So I said, okay, well, I think about stuff like that. So I kind of see this being his last full-time run with WWE. Him signing a contract, I think he's going to be more of a freelancer. He'll pop in different places, maybe TNA, maybe he'll have a one-off with AEW just to face somebody like Kenny Omega or, his old buddy, or, he's just going to be popping up. I don't think he's going to have a full-time run anywhere. He did file a trademark for AJ Styles. He filed a trademark for the Phenomenal One, and he filed a trademark for his logo. So he's going to use that somewhere.
That was part of the deal when he came to WWE in 2016. That was, what got him over here to begin with. He had to have rights to his established brand.
Yep.
and the name and the things that brought him to the dance. And longtime fans, I mean, we can use Powerhouse Hobbs as an example.
His name is Royce.
He's going to be coming into WWE with Royce. A whole different name. They couldn't even just take the Powerhouse off of it. They could have just called him Hobbs or something like that. I mean, Hobbs is a common last name. You know what I'm saying? But no, they're totally rebranding this guy. Now, to be fair, the clout of a Powerhouse Hobbs is not on the same level as AJ Styles, and I understand that wholeheartedly. But then, Eric, we look back, and if this indeed winds up being AJ's last match in WWE, we can look back on the last 8, 9, 10 months of what he's done on television. Take the tag team championship thing with Dragon Lee off the table, because that just made no sense at all. We really watched AJ Styles' retirement tour without them saying it was his retirement tour. Where are you at on this? Does he even stand a chance at beating the Régional at the Royal Rumble?
I'm hoping for some kind of workaround, some kind of disqualification, so neither of them loses. Let's keep AJ. I want to see him more. I don't want him to leave, but I think you're right. I think we've been watching his farewell tour without knowing it.
Right.
With the Shinsuke match, with maybe the match of the year against Cena.
Mm-hmm. CM Punk.
CM Punk. I heard after that CM Punk was crying. I don't know if they were crocodile tears, but
I think I know what you're talking about, because I seen it too. There was like after it went off the air, and somebody had filmed this promo that was done in the ring, and I really felt like that was pretty genuine, and it kind of forecasted what we're talking about here, because you look at Gunther and what he's done, and look, anybody who's watched this show for any length of time knows I have been a huge fan of this guy for a long, long time. He's very throwback. He's very old school. He's believable. I believe that when Gunther steps into the ring, he has a pretty good, solid chance of beating the dude's ass that he's in the ring with. Like, he is that believable. And there's not a lot of pomp and circumstance around him. You know what I mean? He's retired Bill Goldberg.
Good.
He's retired John Cena. And now they trademarked the career killer.
Yep.
So it's like, oh my God. And we already knew, AJ had already said, 2026 is going to be my last year in professional wrestling. That's how he initially had set this thing up. Well, we're thinking we've got the whole year of 2026 to enjoy the phenomenal AJ Styles. And I'm hoping he dodges the bullet, much like what you're saying, Eric, because AJ Styles, he is a generational talent that will never be exactly where he should be when you look at the annals of pro wrestling history. He will go down as one of the all-time greats, but a lot of people will put him in the same vein as Bret the Hitman Hart, as Greg the Hammer Valentine, these solid bell-to-bell ring technicians. Ted DiBiase is another one. The fact of the matter is that if you put AJ Styles in his prime against any of the aforementioned guys that I just said in their prime,
oh my God,
AJ's taking it. Okay, and that includes Bret the Hitman Hart.
Give me that match.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I'll lose it.
I don't know. I hope he dodges the bullet, but I mean, they've got to do something with Gunther here, Eric, because they really have kind of dropped the ball in terms of building the momentum since he retired John Cena. He's been kind of that antagonist and the bully behind the scenes, man. But I felt like if you're going to retire the guy that they considered the greatest of all time, the 17-time champion and all this other stuff, why is he not in consideration for one of these world title matches, especially heading into an event like the Royal Rumble?
I feel like I don't have any ideas of my own, but I'll steal an idea from Unreal where they said like, oh, we don't got to put a belt on Rhea Ripley. She's so over, we don't got to put a belt on her. I think the same thing with Gunther. He's a big bad. Everybody knows he's the big bad in the WWE, and he can handle business without having to have the belt.
He brings up a good point. Do you agree with that? Is he on the level to where he doesn't need a world championship to be considered a main event player or a big deal on Raw or SmackDown?
I don't think he needs it, but to make logical sense out of the way they book things, if you beat John Cena, you should definitely be in consideration of it. You know, you beat my top guy for the past 25 years, then, you probably need to get a title shot, at least a title shot. You know, that would make a lot of sense. Now I made it known that I cannot stand when people lose and get title shots, because this whole Nikki Bella thing just blew my mind. I'm still not over that. I'm still not over that. But when you have a guy that wins, you should reward that guy for winning, because when you win, you should get title shots. That should be the logical thing. You know, what do we do in sports? You win, you start playing in the playoffs, you play for the championship. Winning should lead to championships.
So I agree. I mean, if you're not going to put the title on him, at least put him in a program. Put him in a storyline with one of your upper echelon talents. Even if it's not for the world title or something along those lines. Why is he not mixing it up with Roman Reigns?
That's what I'm waiting on.
Why is he not mixing it up with, I mean, Seth Rollins is out on injury or whatever, but it wasn't until this rivalry with AJ Styles where I'm like, finally, they're doing something meaningful with them. Much, and no disrespect, but I mean, how much traction are you going to get by having a match with R-Truth? You know what I mean? Like, I love R-Truth. He entertains me to no end, but I don't look at R-Truth as part of the upper echelon of WWE.
Not close.
Not even close. So this whole thing with AJ, it's like, okay, they're listening to the IWC to a point, and then they're using that, you know, fundamentally to just lay the groundwork for this match. High stakes on Saturday when AJ Styles and Gunther go one-on-one, and again, if AJ loses, he is out of WWE. What we're going to do right now is we are going to run a quick timeout, and when we come back, we're going to be looking at the WWE Championship match between McIntyre and Zayn, and then the main event, the Men's Royal Rumble match. All that more when the Fatal 4-Way returns live on ONTV right after this.
ONTV's 16th annual food drive benefiting the Oxford Orient Fish Food Pantry kicks off on Monday, February 2nd and runs through Friday, February 6th. Tune in to live content every day from noon until 2 p.m. and special themed programming all week long. Help fill the ONTV van by dropping off non-perishable food items at the Orient Center located at 1349 Joslin Road, or visit OrientONTV.org and click on the donate button to visit our GoFundMe page. All food and money raised during the week will be delivered directly to the Oxford Orient Fish Food Pantry, who have been helping families and seniors in need for more than 50 years. The Lake Orion DDA invites residents to come out for Ice Fest in downtown Lake Orion on Saturday, February 7th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Enjoy activities inside and outdoors during this family-friendly wintertime outing. Ice sculptures will decorate the downtown area, providing plenty of photo ops, while live ice carving demonstrations show you how they're made. Play Ice Fest Bingo or find the selfie station for a chance to win downtown dollars good at over 40 retailers. Kids can take part in a scavenger hunt to find Jack Frost. Downtown restaurants will compete in a chili cook-off from noon until 4 p.m., and you can help determine which one wins the People's Choice Award. Visit downtownlakeorion.org for more information. You can also find them on Facebook. Bring the family out for Ice Fest on Saturday, February 7th, and enjoy a fun Michigan winter day.
And we welcome you back to the Fatal 4-Way live here on ONTV, where we're breaking down all things Royal Rumble along with Eric Scharrer and Hollywood Q. I am Jason Clouse. We certainly appreciate you tuning in here tonight, making us part of your Royal Rumble weekend. Before we resume our preview, I do want to make mention real quick, if you haven't thought about it, I would implore you to. A big fundraiser happening around these parts this coming week. It kicks off on Monday, February the 2nd, when ONTV is a big part of the 5 or 5 food drive to benefit the Oxford and Orion Fish Food Market, food pantry. You can go to orionontv.org right now. Look for the GoFundMe button if you want to make a monetary donation to this very special fundraiser, benefiting a lot of good people around these parts, Q.
Oh, yeah.
So check them out. They will be live on the air every day this next week, beginning at 12 p.m., running until 2. And, of course, you can make your donations 24/7 with the wonderful technology that we have known as the Internet. With that, let's go ahead and resume the Royal Rumble preview. We will see the WWE Championship match. Drew McIntyre will be defending the title against Sami Zayn. Now, on paper, Hollywood, this should be a walk in the park for the Scottish Warrior and defending champion, but considering where they are at with this event being held in Riyadh and how popular Sami Zayn is over there, we understand why Sami has been put into this match after winning a fatal 4-way to determine this spot right here on Saturday night's main event last weekend. I got to be honest with you, though, on paper, this match is not what I wanted. I have never been a Sami Zayn fan. Respect what he does from bell to bell, but I do not see him as a top guy. I do not see him as a main event, and I sure as hell don't see him as WWE champion. What say you?
Well, you're going to get your wish because he's not going to get the WWE Championship. But I think this is going to be a competitive match just because they're over there in Saudi. Sami Zayn is their hometown. It's WWE usually whenever they go to either Canada or Saudi Arabia, they give Sami Zayn a lot of spotlight. And because
especially Montreal.
Yeah, Montreal. Yeah. He is big in those areas, and WWE does good for him in that area. They just don't let him win. Mm-hmm. So I think we're going to see what we saw in Montreal, I believe it was 2 years ago, against Roman Reigns. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be a competitive match where the crowd is going to be behind him. They think he's going to pull it off. He's going to get that win. Maybe he'll even get a haluva kick in there. But this is Drew McIntyre's match to win because he hasn't had that title that long. And I believe Drew is going to carry that title into WrestleMania because he deserves it. I mean, how long has Drew been waiting? And I've been singing the praises of Drew for a long time. Mm-hmm. I mean, and there's a storyline here. Sami Zayn has lost to Drew McIntyre, 11 times? Mm-hmm. So they still have that built-in story. I don't know if they mentioned it, but they still got that going on. So, yeah, it's going to be a 12th time. It's definitely going to be a 12th time. But I can see this being a competitive match. There's going to be a lot of energy in this one. So I believe this is going to be an underrated match. We don't see it as being that good, but I think it's going to turn out to be a very good match.
You mentioned his title shot against Roman Reigns a couple of years ago that was in Montreal, and I remember talking about that match on this set and thinking, man, with this being in Montreal, Roman was kind of plateauing a little bit at that point. I was more nervous that they were going to actually switch the title in Montreal to Sami Zayn because of the whole bloodline storyline. It was hot, man.
It was hot.
And when he turned and blasted that chair into Roman at the Royal Rumble, you're like, oh man, like this is the hottest storyline going right now. And I could see a scenario where Sami pulled one out, even if he was going to lose, at WrestleMania that year, he would have had his moment. Eric, where are you at on Sami Zayn? Because having laid all that out, I don't feel that way with this match with Drew McIntyre, much because of what Q said. Drew McIntyre's been waiting for this opportunity to be world champion, a sustainable run in front of a live audience. He's in the midst of this thing now. He is your prototypical pro wrestler. Do you see Sami having a shot at winning the title here? Where are you at on Sami Zayn in general?
He's a mid-card guy for me. I don't see him as a top guy. He doesn't do anything special in the ring. He's good on the mic, but he's not great. If I could switch over to Drew, Drew's trying hard to be a heel, but he's getting the crowd's on his side. I hope this isn't a spoiler for SmackDown that already happened.
Spoiler alert.
That both of them do make an appearance. Obviously, they got to promote tomorrow's match. I think Drew got a louder pop than Sami did in Sami's hometown, or his home region.
I feel like there is a growing contingent of wrestling fans, specifically the IWC, that are hopping on our bandwagon in terms of we see Drew McIntyre for what he is. We see Drew McIntyre for what he has tried. Look, I've said it so many times in other conversations. I don't know if they could have put the WWE Championship on a better guy during the COVID era. But what sucked was, and when he won the Royal Rumble in 2020, and that was at the Minute Maid Park in Houston, where the Astros play. You had 50-something thousand people in there roaring when he eliminated Brock Lesnar from that match. Roaring when he won the Royal Rumble. Like, wow, a guy finally got his flowers. And you look at the past 5+ years since that time, and he's done everything that he's been asked to and done it very, very well. This feud, I credit the feud with CM Punk as what kept him relevant in the world title picture. Those two needed each other. And that's what happens when wrestling is done right. You get invested into it to where you appreciate who the wrestler is beyond who they're supposed to be, much like what Eric was just talking about. Drew McIntyre is playing the role of the consummate heel, but people love him. People appreciate him, and people are genuinely happy that he is the undisputed WWE champion. I think, and I told Brian this last night, I feel like because Sami Zayn has this match in Riyadh here tomorrow at the Royal Rumble, this is a test to see how he is going to, number one, perform on a big 4 premium live event stage, and 2, how is he truly going to be received by the fans in this country? Because as we all know, WrestleMania 43 is going to be in Saudi Arabia.
True.
And I feel like this is a test. If Sami winds up passing this test, what I worry about is that they're going to coast him through the rest of the year, have him win Royal Rumble next year, and go on to win the world title at WrestleMania. That's what I'm worried about.
I can see
Did
that.
you see that?
Yeah, and I think I had that same conversation with somebody. I don't know. Yeah, the only thing about Sammy, though, is this whole underdog gimmick only lasts for so long.
Right.
You know, and he's been an underdog for so long. Now, I imagine, like, if they didn't strike gold with Daniel Bryant at the time that they did, if they would have waited, it would have fizzled out, you know? And the fact that this guy has been competing for top titles for years now and not winning them, when are people going to just say, you know what? That's just his narrative. He's not going to get it. You know, they're going to stop believing in Sammy. So I can see why the fans are like, okay, enough is enough. You guys tried. I think the match with Roman Reigns was your biggest opportunity for Sami Zayn. That was the biggest opportunity. I wouldn't have agreed with it, no. But that was the biggest opportunity for Sami Zayn to actually pull it off. Now, it's too much. It's overkill. It's too late. You know, Drew is liked because not only for who he is, how good of a performer he is, and how much logic he has in his promos, he's also been screwed over. He's the one that's been screwed over by the bloodline. He was screwed over by Sammy in the bloodline. So Drew has more sympathy right now.
That's a great point. You're absolutely right about that. How much longer can you look? Even Rocky Balboa became the favorite after winning the heavyweight championship of the world once he got established.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah. Eric, if this match was happening anywhere else in the world other than Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, would Sami Zayn be here against Drew McIntyre for the WWE title?
No.
No, I don't think so either.
Nope.
He'll be humble.
I like Finn, too. I love Finn Balor. But did he deserve a shot out of nowhere last week? Or is that just because where they were?
Well, yeah. I mean,
Finn's better than Sammy.
100%. I'll get behind that. I will certainly get behind that.
Yeah, they just gave him the shot because of where it's at.
Well, Well, I mean, they did kind of plant the seeds a little bit. Punk had mentioned him in a promo about who he would like to face during his run as world champion. And as the calendar wound up the way that it was, they were in Ireland, and that's Finn Balor country. I loved how he used his old entrance when he came out. He said it was so loud he missed his one cue because he couldn't hear the music. That's authentic stuff. That's good stuff right there. Well, hopefully we can say the same thing because presumably the winner of this match between the WWE champion Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn, or the man who holds the World Heavyweight Championship at this point, one CM Punk, will be awaiting the winner of the Royal Rumble match. Every man for himself. 30 of the top wrestlers in the world will be competing, and the winner will face the champion of his choice at WrestleMania 42 in Las Vegas, Nevada, either April 18th or April 19th. Here is the list of confirmed participants on the men's side of the Royal Rumble. Roman Reigns, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, Gunther. I just noticed his name is on here.
What a surprise.
Interesting. Brock Lesnar, main event Jey Uso, Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee, Penta, Braun Breaker, Big Bronson Reed, Logan Paul, Austin Theory, Javon Evans, and Oba Femi. Now, that is 16 guys. We have a lot of slots left to fill here to get to the 30. So, Q, I'm going to ask you this first. Do we see the return to WWE of Y2J Chris Jericho?
Man, I'm like 50-50 on this one. Jericho coming back at the Rumble. Man, you know what? I wanted to see him come back at Saturday night's main event, to be honest, because I want to see the countdown and I want to hear him say something.
Right.
But if he comes back in the Rumble, oh man, yeah, that'd be huge.
Worst kept secret in all of wrestling.
Yeah,
right?
that'd be huge. I'll be for it, man. I'm with it.
This year's pool of talent, it makes it really hard this year to pick a winner, because we still have, between now and WrestleMania, we have a stop at the Elimination Chamber.
Yep.
And whoever the Royal Rumble winner doesn't choose, the chamber match will determine the other world champion's opponent for WrestleMania. Now, spoiler alert, okay? I'm saying that so you have some time to plug your ear holes. There was a technical botch on SmackDown, and I'm sure it will be edited out by the time it gets to the USA Network, but it was revealed erroneously that Braun Breaker was scheduled to be the #1 participant in the Royal Rumble match. We have speculated that Braun Breaker could be one of the 3 or 4 favorites to win the Royal Rumble, to go on to WrestleMania, to face the world champion of his choosing. If it's not Braun Breaker, Q, who are we putting our money on?
There's 3 names that really stick out. Braun Breaker was one of them, but he's probably on the bottom of the list if that botch is a thing. But, and this is what I don't want to see it, but Roman really sticks out. Roman really sticks out because what WWE has been doing lately, they want to have their biggest names headlining their biggest show, which I get it. I get it. Now, I remember way back, Royal Rumble used to be the star builder.
Yeah.
It used to be where people first get their first touch of the main event. I think about a Sheamus. I think about Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
I don't really see it as much because they want their big names out there. But if you were to go that bold route of making a star, Obafemi is my guy. He is my guy. And I know people say it's early because he hasn't even had a match on the main roster. But how bold and unpredictable it will be if Obafemi won this thing. He's my second guy. So I'm gonna go Roman, and Oba, Braun.
Okay. Listen. You make a strong point here about Obafemi not having a match on the main roster. I would combat that with, that dude went viral because of his appearance on Saturday night's main event against Cody Rhodes. And like, I found myself walking around the house. It's just such a cool thing, you know what I mean? And if Jey Uso last year was like, he's one of the rare ones that, okay, they're going to put the rocket on somebody new. He had a couple of world title shots before, but it wasn't on such a main event stage, right? So him winning the Royal Rumble, especially after eliminating John Cena, because everybody thought John Cena was going over, because, okay, Brian just texted. By the way, Brian, I read your shirt comment, so I don't think so. But have Oba face Hobbs at the Royal Rumble. Those two, if they got in
face to face,
if they got into a spot where it was just those two in the ring during the Royal Rumble, that's gonna be a moment. To me, I would look at that like, okay, they're gonna do something with Hobbs or Royce or whatever the hell they're gonna call him. But man, Obafemi is over.
Yes.
And if you really wanted to create a brand new star, main event level star, Braun Breaker is established, right? We can all agree on that. He is a main event player. But man, you put Oba in there, and that's going to change the entire landscape. Eric, what's your take on Oba Femi, and who would you put over if you had the booking the Royal Rumble?
Oh man, I loved
No
Oba.
pressure.
Oba was good. I heard the match didn't go as planned because Cody cut his ear, but Oba looked good. He's got aura. He's got, I don't know what the kids use nowadays, but he's got it.
He's got clout.
He's got it.
He's got
the it factor, you know.
Yep.
But yeah, seeing the champs we have now, I think Elimination Chamber, the winner of that is probably Drew, and I see Braun and CM Punk again. I see Braun Breaker and CM Punk at Mania.
Could very well be.
Yeah.
There's history there. I worry. I don't know, man. Like we're getting a lot of repeat main events.
Right.
Yeah.
And I go back and forth on this because back in the day, rivalries lasted 8, 9, 10 months.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you get if you get the same guys wrestling twice within a 3-week period, the IWC is bored with it. Why are we seeing this match again? And why are we doing it this way? This is what's called a rivalry, a feud, a conflict. This is what they do to settle the score. This is pro wrestling, okay? This is how things are done. And I'm sorry that you have the attention span of a gnat. That's unfortunate. And if that's the case, perhaps NASCAR is going to be better suited for you, all right? Because we're dealing with storytelling here in a physical form. That's what pro wrestling is. I understand if they go Punk versus Breaker. But if I can be 100% honest with you, that match on Monday Night Raw on January the 5th, it was decent, but it was lacking something. I don't want that in the main event of WrestleMania. You know why I went to the Sunday night portion of WrestleMania last year? Why my girl and I chose that one? Because it felt like a main event. I knew it was going to be Cody and Cena on Sunday night. That's a main event. And it was a new match. It had established stars, but it was a new match. Putting Oba Femi against Drew McIntyre, or putting Oba Femi against CM Punk, or Braun Breaker if he was to win it at the Chamber. Man, that changes the landscape immediately in WWE.
Yep.
And that, Q, is what they need to do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. See, and my thing with Braun Breaker, if they were to give it to Braun, we're going to have the exact same formula we had last year. Jey Uso had a title shot at Saturday night's main event, lost, won the Rumble, and got the same match.
That wound up opening WrestleMania.
Yep.
It wasn't even a main event.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like the world, though we have been conditioned that the world title match should always be the main event. That is the centerpiece of the entire presentation.
Yep.
And when you talk, and I'm not taking anything away from Punk's title because it's a world title, and I appreciate what they've tried to do with it. But when you include the WWE Championship, this is the crown jewel of sports entertainment. This is the most established, respected, and revered championship in all of pro wrestling. I will argue with this title goes back to 63.
We got the lineage.
Well, I can tell you the lineage pretty much without even having to look it up.
Yeah.
It's all in here. I'm weird like that. But be that as it may, look, man, we're coming into a very pivotal WrestleMania in Las Vegas. And they have a unique opportunity to create new stars, to give us more matches, to give us that big fight feel. And I'm sorry, if we're doing Punk and Breaker again, you're not going to get that. You're going to get your hardcore CM Punk fans. You're going to get the other side of that just wants to see something new, and they've latched on to Brown Breaker. Cool. But man, if you have something special with Obafemi, and you have the opportunity to truly make history with the Royal Rumble. Hopefully, Trips came out and said, there's going to be big surprises, big shakeups coming at the Royal Rumble. So hopefully, when the three of us and the esteemed Mr. Balf return to ONTV in 2 weeks' time, it will be because we're talking about a historic main event that has been set for WrestleMania 42. One more time, real quick, before we get out of here this week. Tune in to ONTV this coming week, beginning Monday, February the 2nd, 12 to 2. They will be live across their airwaves and platforms. You can go to OrientONTV.org right now. Look for the GoFundMe button to make a monetary donation to this very special fundraiser and food drive, the Fish Food Pantry that benefits Oxford and the Lake Orion area. So hopefully you will be able to check that out. And you can check us out in 2 weeks' time when we return live to the studios of ONTV here in Lake Orion, Michigan. Until then, go out, be awesome to yourselves and to each other, and we will see you next time here on the Fatal 4-Way live on the ONTV as a part of the PFC Entertainment Network.
This is the Pure Fury Creations Entertainment Network.